Bonjour, my name's Izzy. I'm the sous chef at Gatherings Cafe, and today we're making the bison lentil soup. Come through to Family Fun Night on Friday, December 20th, this Friday. First 25 people to come get a free meal kit to make this soup at home. We will also be doing a demo on Friday night. So the first 25 families to come through to Family Fun Night this Friday get a meal kit. Here's what's in the box. So first off, we got a big bunch of kale. We're gonna have onions, bell pepper, good amount of celery, little guy of garlic. Of course, we have some lentils and our bison stew meat. Everybody's gonna get 2 pounds of bison stew meat. And then we also have some dried spices. We've got a bay leaf, we've got a guajillo pepper. And that's all we need to make this soup. Here's all the supplies that you need to make the soup if you are doing this at home and watching this video. First, we're gonna need some sort of bowl/strainer combo for when we clean the kale. You just wanna soak the kale a little bit and then strain as much water out of it as possible. We're gonna need a large pot for the soup. This will be about anywhere from 6 to 8 quarts. We're gonna have at least 6 quarts of soup, so make sure that your pot can fix 6 quarts. That way we don't have to change to a bigger pot in the middle of cooking. We also need a small pot. This only needs to be able to fit about 2 cups of liquid in it. We're just gonna use it to cook the lentils separately from the stew and then add it in at the end. Big measuring cup. You don't necessarily need this to measure a gallon, but it is nice. We need a 1 cup measure. We need a spoon for stirring throughout. You're gonna need a little cutting board and a knife like so. And any of your favorite cooking oil, we just need about a tablespoon. This is everything that comes in the meal kit. So first off, we're gonna have garlic. The first step is just mincing this garlic. The second step is going to be dicing up your onion, celery, and your red bell pepper. We'll get into that here. And when you're making soup, you don't have to dice or mince super fine because we're gonna be boiling everything for a little while. You just wanna cut it up enough so that you don't get a big chunk of garlic in your bite. It's as small as I feel I need to go. Just minced a little bit. Then we're gonna move to our celery. Celery is fun because you just get to chop it as quick as you want. Just get it kind of thin. With the red pepper, specifically for soup, we're gonna cut the top off. You should still have the little stem inside. I'm gonna pull it out. Just kind of smack it and those seeds will fall out. And you can use the top just chop it up. Same thing with the onions. You don't have to do it the same way I do. You just have to rough dice it. I like to take the top off the onion and that rooted side, cut it in half all the way through. That way when you're peeling the onion, it doesn't come all the way apart. And then when you're cutting it, it also kind of stays together so you can dice it nice. Whew. There you have it. Then we're gonna grab our bunch of kale. We're gonna unwrap it. And then all we're gonna do is take that long stem, gonna pinch it, pull down, get the leaves off. We're gonna throw them all in our bin. That way we can wash it. We just want to remove the stems because they take a long time to cook. You don't want any chewy bits in there. I'm going to take the kale, just going to rip it up into little bite-sized pieces. Oop. And then we're going to fill it with water, soak it a little bit. Some cold water in there. We're just going to swish it around a little bit, make sure there's no sand between the leaves. That's why we wash our greens. And we'll strain it out. I'm gonna finish ripping it up. The next step is the stove. Boom. Once we're over on the stove, we're gonna turn the pot up to a nice medium high. Whatever that looks like for your stove. Get the pot nice and hot. Any of your favorite oil, just about a tablespoon in there. Then we're gonna hit it with the onion, pepper, celery mix that we made earlier. Give it a little stir. We're gonna let them cook down for probably 3-4 minutes, just until they get a little bit of translucence, and then we're gonna add the garlic. You wanna get some of that flavor from the aromatics in the pan before we add any of the water to make any stock. And we need to cook them down just enough so that there's room in the pot to add the bison.
A few moments later.
I'm gonna go ahead and throw in the garlic. Stir for about 4 minutes. So now that the onion, pepper, garlic, celery is cooked down a little bit, it's nice and soft. It's making your house smell awesome. It's time to add the meat. It's time to add the bison stew. So what we're gonna do here, we're gonna push the veggies out of the center of the pot. We're gonna put the meat right in the middle. And what we're looking to do is have the pan hot enough to sear it. We don't need to cook it all the way through, but we want to get a little bit of color on the meat for flavor. We're gonna spend probably another 4 or 5 minutes just getting the meat brown. And then we're gonna pour our spices in. So, our next step, we've got our veggies, we've got our bison, we've cooked it a little bit, definitely not all the way through. We're gonna take all those dried spices that come in the kit. We'll leave the bay leaf and the guajillo pepper out for now. We've got rubbed sage, we've got a little green New Mexico chili powder, some paprika and some oregano. We're gonna cook the spices into the meat for about a minute. Just really helps bring out the flavors of those seasonings as opposed to putting it in with the water. Now we've seasoned. We're gonna add our water. It's gonna become our stock. We're gonna do 1.5 gallons. That's 6 quarts. I need 2 more quarts here. Now go ahead and turn your heat all the way up. If you do have a lid for the pot, definitely would take some time out of your day if you covered it up, brought it to a simmer. But now that we have the stock in, we can do our pepper and our bay leaf. Get them in there. And now we'll wait for it to simmer. Once we get it to a simmer, we want to simmer for 15 minutes. Make sure that bison is cooked all the way through and it gets tender. It only takes 15 minutes to get tender. If you simmer your soup too long and it has stew meat in it or other meat, it can get hard and then it won't be as good. So So our next step, once we've added the water, we've got our pepper in there, we've got our bay leaf in there, we are at a simmer. Once we start simmering, we're gonna take our other pot, we're just gonna put 1 cup of water in, off camera. We got a cup of water. We're gonna bring it to a boil. It's gonna be real quick. Give our soup a stir. Now the reason we have a separate pot of water so that we can cook our lentils. Lentils cook super quick, and since they're gonna be in hot soup, they're gonna get really soft if we overdo them. So we're only gonna boil them for about a minute, minute and a half, and then we're gonna add them to the soup. Same time that we add the lentils to the soup, we're gonna add the kale, and then the soup is done. Last step will be giving it a little taste. Probably give it as much salt as you want. I didn't put any salt in the recipe. So now that our water is boiling, we're gonna add our lentils. And they don't need much. Just a little stir. Like I said, just a minute or two. I'm gonna go ahead and get that kale that we rinsed earlier. We washed it into little pieces. Throw it in there. It's just like spinach, it'll cook down. It's not actually that much kale. Oop. Now we're at about a minute. Swish some stock around to get them all out. There we go. Once the kale and the lentils are in, we can turn off the heat. I'm gonna add some salt. That's the last step. Do a little more. Gorgeous. We're gonna give it a taste. Good soup.
Thank you guys so much for watching this awesome food demo with Izzy, our sous chef at Gatherings Cafe. I just want to say thank you all for tuning in. Like, comment, subscribe. I know this video will be on YouTube, Facebook, maybe some clips on Instagram. But yes, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. Let us know if you want to see any videos in the future. But yeah, thank you guys so much, and see you guys next time. Jellyfish.